Services Management Part 3. Positioning and analyzing a luxury brand. The objectives are identify and discuss the two modes of brand building, identify and discuss the brand identity prism, identify and discuss the semantic square consumption values. Many luxury strategists do not believe that America has luxury goods because of the short history of our country. In other words, you cannot discuss the heritage of an American luxury good, but we can discuss the experience. However, many others will argue that there's not enough time to create a perceived history from our humble beginnings. In America, we use storytelling to create the myths and legends surrounding our luxury goods, while other countries, there's more of a historical perspective where the creator created myths and legends. Another difference between the European and American perspective is that European creators view themselves as artists, while the American counterpart is viewed as a founder or a CEO. The American founder tends to create goods to solve problems, while the creator creates pieces of art that people can learn to appreciate. However, there are American examples of creators, just as the Apple founder Steve Jobs. Always remember, luxury set the price, but price doesn't guarantee luxury. However, price is a strong signal of luxury. We can also think about the difference between premium, mystique, and luxury brands in terms of price. The luxury goods tend to far exceed the premium and mystique brand price and quality. It is critical how people perceive their expertise and their own status and the relationship between the two. People learn things because they are curious or because they want to demonstrate they have an expertise in an area. Some people do not have status because of their position in life, and others prefer not to be recognized. For some, people will hire others to manage their luxury collections because they don't have the expertise but still want to be portrayed as being sophisticated. A brand meaning is in two parts. One part is how the brand position itself, while the other is how the consumer perceives the brand meaning. Brand ethics is how true a brand stays within itself. For example, if a high-end brand also sells its brand through Target, will it still perceived as a luxury brand? Can you name brands that has damaged their brand image by selling their goods through lower-end retailers? How does this apply to the hospitality industry? All brands, including luxury brands, must serve the need for the consumers. In luxury brands, these needs include their desire for hedonistic pleasure and status. Let's take a moment and explore what makes a brand identity. The brand identity prism shows how to create or dissect a luxury brand. The prism shows how the brand owner tries to develop the brand image, while the consumer interprets and creates their own brand image of the brand. The brand has total control over the brand physical nature and brand personality, and can also strongly influence how it creates relationships and culture with the consumer. The bottom two areas are in complete control of the consumer. Let's take a look at a few examples of how to use this prism. Each side of this figure represents a range of values. On the left side, it ranged from practical to critical, while on the right side, it ranged from diversionary to utopia values. Each of the diagonals represent polar opposites. At the top of each side, it expresses the highest value of each, while the bottom represents the absolute lowest. At the very top where they intersect, it talks about how someone or something can be represented by both values, while the very bottom in the middle represents that it doesn't have either one of these values. Let's take a look at these four quadrants. The top left is a critical view of utopia, where people question what is utopia and what exactly they should do. In other words, they are searching for their image of utopia. On the other hand, the intercept between utopia and diversionary focuses more on evolving into utopia. In other words, searching for a transformation. On the bottom left, they're searching for things that meets their needs in a practical manner. For example, they need a place to sleep for a night and a budget hotel is fine as long as it meets the minimum requirements they are seeking. The last quadrants want practicality with diversion. For example, they search for things like being surprised and seeing humor in their daily lives. They want to be distracted from the practical side of their lives through entertainment and diversion, but still want to maintain a sense of practicality. Let's take a look how you would locate different brands into this figure. Which one of these 4 quadrants would you fit into? For a luxury brand to be successful, it should be super relative. In other words, it should be the best in what it's trying to be or do. A luxury brand needs to separate itself from the other luxury brands through their brand identity. The first question is, how does a luxury brand differ from the rest of the market? It needs to create a consistent image. What is the luxury brand good at? It makes watches, creating experiences, and what do they do internally that makes them exceptional? At the end of the day, performance does matter. If you make the best watches, have the best hotels, or have the best food in the finest restaurants, but your business model doesn't work or is unprofitable, your luxury product, service, or good will have a short life. A luxury brand must be created with a good business model and have goods that consumer wants. The last most important aspect is to create an identity that is attractive to consumers. It is critical for a brand to have an understanding how their potential and current consumers view them. This is probably the most difficult to do because it's difficult for each of us to determine how others view us. Let's place different hotel brands into this figure. Let's take the previous list that we developed on the previous slide and put those businesses onto this figure. As previously stated, a luxury good needs to be unique, so it doesn't have any comparables. Otherwise, why should you buy that luxury good and not a better one? So a luxury good must separate themselves from other luxury goods by making it more difficult to consume because it's more exclusive, have a strong heritage, there's a sense of scarcity, and it's able to be consumed conspicuously, and it's set at the right price point. People are searching for unique luxury goods to separate themselves from others while also belonging to a prestigious group. Since we have previously agreed that a luxury good needs to be superlative or unique, it is also the foundation on how a luxury consumer will view how the luxury good will enhance your status and hedonistic experience through these different antecedents. Did any of you buy a luxury good? Why did you buy it? Many luxury experts believe that lifestyle branding is not luxury because it doesn't meet the timelessness test compared to those luxury brands that maintain their integrity and ethics in delivering their luxury product. However, to meet the demand of the consumer and increase profitability, many luxury brands are trying to attract new consumers who are more interested in their lifestyles versus maintaining traditions. This strategy is risky because lifestyle will always change. Many luxury brands attempt to maintain their integrity and ethics while also meeting the demands of these new consumers. Today, Wi-Fi is in nearly every hotel lobby or guest rooms. They're also maintaining the classical look and feel of the lobby, but arranging the furniture to allow more interaction among the guests to meet the changing lifestyle consumers wanting to meet in groups. These small steps provide luxury properties the opportunity to meet the needs of the new consumers while also maintaining their integrity and ethics. A luxury good that has limited accessibility and is seen as rare usually increase a person's status. More roots usually mean that the luxury good has more heritage and is seen as being timeless. Think about luxury goods that would fit into these quadrants. Remember, nothing will fit in the center of these different quadrants, but rather could overlap a couple of these. Think about luxury hotels that have outrageous designs, while others have more of a feel of tradition and reliable environment. At the same time, it is critical to view brands as either being traditional or modern. Modern brands need to be updated frequently because lifestyle will change compared to a traditional brand. What is modern today is old tomorrow. However, many young consumers expect their luxury hotels to be much more modern than their older counterparts. Even in country clubs, they had to relax their dress codes to meet the demands of their new club members. Let's go through these in-class assignments.